And that's Billy Porter again. And children, it wasn't it was deja vu. Believe me, I did play that earlier on, and that was a mistake. But I like the track, and I think it's quite appropriate, so that's absolutely fine. Anyway, good afternoon to you if you've just tuned in. It's 10 minutes past 2, and you're listening to the 123 show with me, Saadia Usmani. It's National Children's Day in Hong Kong today, and this is a great opportunity to highlight some of the great work going on in the city to support children from diverse backgrounds. Now, language is a key component to future success, confidence, and empowerment. And IBEL, a local Hong Kong charity, has made it their mission to provide high-quality Chinese language support to underprivileged non-Chinese speaking communities. Manoj Dhar is the co-founder of IBEL and joins me today together with 2 IBEL students, Smriti Rai and Christian Sabha. And they're all on Zoom at the moment. First of all, let me just say hello to Manoj and to all of you, actually. Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Well, lovely to have you here. Manoj, first of all, let me just talk to you first. Now, for people who are not familiar with IBEL, tell me exactly what it is that you do, how are you helping kids?
See, broadly speaking, we are trying to tackle the educational marginalization or the educational inequality which happens due to the requirement of learning the Chinese language. So the points of delivery at this particular point in time are not entirely inclusive and equitable. So what our education centers and our learning centers do are providing that support, providing that cultural and that immersive environment for these children so that they can come in every day after their school and just get comfortable with the language and not feel intimidated with it, because it's Cantonese learning is crucial. So from our side, it's not just the academic side of it, but also providing a very, very holistic support system for the kids. So there's a lot of in-classroom academic oriented inputs and a lot of out-of-classroom experiential learning environment, which we provide to our children over the 2 centers.
So give me an example. So for instance, if there is a child who doesn't speak Cantonese and is in a normal school, then basically, how does it work in terms of they come to you and then they try and improve their language? So tell me, give me an example. If I have a child who is not able to speak Cantonese, how would it work? How do they come to IBEL? What do you do then?
Sure. Thanks. That's a very insightful question. I think what one has to understand 2 things. One is the concept of learning the language, and the other is the concept of learning in the language. So one is the challenge of teaching them the language as it is, Chinese, but then the other thing is that a lot of subjects like maths and general studies are being taught via the root of that language. So these children finish their schooling, or even when they don't have school, they have holidays, they come in, and our student-teacher ratio is basically 1:3, 1:4. Mm-hmm. And the kid comes in 5 days to us, and our teachers work very, very closely with them, basically providing them the constant input in terms of conversational and in terms of colloquial language usage, so that the child releases the fear of, oh, this is not a language I can deal with, or I don't understand what the other person is saying. So that's the entire concept. The concept is providing a nurturing, caring, inclusive, and as far as possible an equal learning environment, so that there is no concept of fear or being intimidated by a language. So holistically and spiritually speaking, that is the concept, that is the pedagogy. Mm-hmm. And we try various ways and means through which we achieve.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you later and ask you a little bit more about IBEL itself. But let me just move on to Smriti. Smriti, you're 12 years old, and tell me a little bit about your, when did you join IBEL?
I think I joined IBEL about like 2 years ago. I got introduced to it by a friend of mine.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's how I joined.
And what did you find? I mean, why did you come to IBEL? What were you hoping to get out of it?
Maybe improve academically, but I also got to meet more people and became more social.
Mm-hmm. And were you, like, when you were at school, were you having issues with the whole thing about the language, in that, you know, did you feel a little bit that your Cantonese perhaps wasn't as good as others and you could do with a little bit more help?
Yeah, I did.
So how did you find, did it improve, like, once you came to IBEL? What sort of things did you do to you find that it improved it? What kind of exercises were you doing?
So the teachers like give you some worksheets, and I can also like talk to them and ask them about questions. They also have like some activities, so that also helps learning and makes it more fun. So yeah, that basically helped me learn a bit more Chinese.
So you've been there for, it's been about, what, 2020 you started, so it's not been too long, but I mean, the improvement, do you think that things have changed for you since?
Yeah.
How would they, how do you feel? I mean, do you feel more confident? Do you feel happier?
Yeah, I do. Because when I didn't join IBEL, when my mom asked me to go buy stuff for her and I had to speak in Chinese, I was like, no, 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 no. But now I'm more confident. I can just go and buy stuff by myself.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. I mean, I must admit, you know, I've been in Hong Kong for 5 years now, and I'm absolutely terrible because I still can't get the minibus to stop. And I, you know, because it's about confidence, isn't it? So are you feeling like that your pronunciation and things like that have improved because you've had this exposure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me move over to Christian. Christian, hello to you. Christian, tell me, how old are you?
11.
Okay. And so how long have you been coming to IBEL?
How long? About 1 year.
Uh-huh. And what made you what made you come along to it? Was it somebody who recommended it, or did you find out about it through your parents?
We were just looking for a tuition because my old tuition was closed.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find another one.
And was language a problem for you? Did you find that, like, you know, you needed a bit of help with the language side of things?
No, not really.
Okay. So what do you think? I mean, for instance, you've come to IBEL, and if I said no, IBEL's not going to be around anymore, but so what do you think? What is it that you get out of it that you enjoy the most?
Learning more Chinese.
Learning
more Chinese.
Oh, right. Okay. And how, I mean, when they teaching you, because I always find that, like, you know, if I was learning, and I'm as I said, you know, it takes confidence to do it, but it's a matter of how you teach. So how are you learning it? Is it through just the workbooks, or what are you doing?
Workbooks and worksheet.
Mm-hmm. And you've got other kids there too who are speaking at the same time?
No.
No. Right. Okay. Well, I think maybe I should have asked the questions in Chinese, maybe. All right. Okay, Manoj, tell me, you know, how many students go through your doors each year?
See, for us, it's a daily relationship. So every child who comes in must come in and learn with us 5 days a week. So from that perspective, we have, well, before the current pandemic set in, we had like 252 kids who walk in and out throughout the day and different sessions across our 2 learning centers. So that's the number we are looking at, 252.
And the pandemic, has it had, I've heard that you have actually managed to stay open and provide your classes throughout this time. So how have you managed to do that?
See, Saadia, it's been challenging, and it's been challenging since December 2019. So in the initial stages, it wasn't, we had to pivot and adapt and adopt, but now I think we by and large mastered the thing. So what we do is that, of course, kids are not allowed in, but the parents visit us almost every alternate day. So they come in, and our tutors are always there, our teachers are always there, and they're helping them download homework should the school have provided such, and the parents are able to take the learning material back home, come back to us 2 days, 3 days later. Our teaching staff corrects it. So the entire concept is that you have to keep the relationship and you have to keep the discipline and you have to keep the cycle and the practice with the children going. And so that's how we are keeping things going. And our centers have always been welcoming and always been accessible to the parents, whether it was social unrest or whether it was COVID pandemic. And yeah, we manage. So sometimes we are doing Zoom classes for our students, those of whom who have a bit of stable internet Wi-Fi at home, and the others we work around in this manner.
No, it's great work that you're doing. Can I go back to Smriti and just ask me, what would you like to do, Smriti, when you finish? What's your ambition? Do you have something in mind as to what you'd like to do in the future?
Yeah, I'd like to become an astronomer.
Oh.
Because like my cousin brother is a dual major. He studies business and astronomy. So when I was younger, he like influenced me a lot and taught me about like stars and stuff. So I want to be an astronomer because of him.
And would you like to be an astronomer here in Hong Kong, or what, you have visions and you want to move somewhere? What would you like to do?
Maybe move somewhere, because being an astronomer and speaking in Chinese would probably be an issue.
Well, why would it be an issue? If you were saying that your Chinese has it obviously improved because you are talking with people now. Compared to when you weren't at IBEL, then it's probably changed quite a bit since you started at IBEL, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like I'd be more comfortable speaking in Chinese, and that'd be better to communicate with my work, like friends and acquaintances.
And so do you feel at the moment that you still have a certain amount of improvement to go with your Chinese language?
Yeah.
And do you feel sometimes at a bit of a disadvantage because I certainly feel I can't speak the language at all, right? So if I was going to go and do something, I can't say anything at all. so do you find that do you think that over time that will improve though, won't it? Because it's practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you get that practice at IBEL.
Yep, I do.
You do. All right. And also for you, let me go to Christian. Christian, what's your ambition? What would you like to do?
Be a policeman.
Oh, great. So you'd like to be a policeman. Now, so again, the language thing, both of you would obviously like to be able to speak Cantonese and be absolutely fluent with it. But your Cantonese must have improved over time anyway, hasn't it? So is that something that when you become a policeman, that is something that you would like to be able to communicate in?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, that's good. Thank you. It's really good. Now tell me a little bit about your hobbies when you're not sitting there at IBEL practicing your Cantonese and making it better. Smriti, what are you doing in your spare time?
Sometimes I read books, sometimes I play online games or read online. Sometimes I do my homework, and sometimes I play a bit with my brothers and sisters.
And have you found the whole pandemic thing quite a bit of a challenge, because then, you've not been able to see many people, because schools, you've been doing all online classes, haven't you?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to pay attention to class, because sometimes something's wrong with the Wi-Fi and I can't really listen or hear. So, and I can't really ask them directly, and they can't really explain it to me that well online. So yeah.
How about you, Christian? How have you found the whole online experience?
Very nicely. Very nice.
Oh, very nice. You've liked it, have you?
Yeah.
You're quite happy. Obviously it'd be nicer if you could see your friends and go to school. Yeah, are you looking forward to that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Manoj, let me just finish with you and just really ask you, in terms of you've seen so many, obviously, the kids are nervous as well, but you've seen so many students come and go into IBEL. Tell me, what really does it for you in terms of, seeing these students go through this and actually learning the language, and, in terms of prospects, how do their prospects change once they've gone through the system?
Saadia, for us from the first day, it was always about, rolling up our sleeves and, getting down and trying to do things which make a difference on a daily basis. So for us, every day is a small victory when we see a 6-year-old child being able to go through a kindergarten book in Cantonese, while the kid may not necessarily be able to understand her or his native language, which could be Urdu, Tagalog, Nepalese, or whatever. So that's a massive reassurance for us that what we are doing and the way we are nurturing the children into providing an equitable learning environment is working. And the kids are proving what they've always been trying to say, that they are smart enough, they're intelligent enough. So having that is a great sense of accomplishment. Seeing our children from primary getting into good Band 1 schools, which is what we managed to achieve over the last summer, despite the COVID pandemic and everything else. That's a phenomenal, humbling experience for us. Seeing our children being able to smile and laugh and still show that immense courage and mental fortitude despite the odds and despite all that's going around in the world is fantastic.
And we are talking about, we're talking about underprivileged children. This is like non-Chinese speaking communities, but at the end of the day, it is about children being on the same starting line, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And being
Absolutely.
able to go forward, like if Smriti wants to be an astronomer and Christian wants to be a policeman, then there should be no bars there in terms of further hurdles for them to go forward. And I suppose to a certain extent, when you are talking about ethnic minority children, it's also for you in IBEL, is it about giving them the confidence to tell them that actually their background and their culture should not make a difference to them to be able to go forward? They should be equally treated.
Yeah, Saadia, see, that's the thing. The kids don't have all these hang-ups. The kids just consider themselves as kids.
They just want to work,
and they just want to study, and they just want to go and play, and they just want to make friends, and that's it. So their life and their world is very, very simple. It's unfortunately the elder lot or the older lot who complicate everything, and there comes in stuff like ethnic majority, minority, NCS, NES, and all this kind of things. But yes, if they are given half the chance, these kids are motivated. They are fantastically disciplined, and they absolutely they are never the ones to shirk or shy away that, oh, I don't want to learn this language and stuff like that. They're just
they
saying
have an extra thing, an extra hurdle that they have to go through, and that takes determination. Manoj, if I was going to finally just ask you, if I could ask you to have one wish, what would that wish be to make things easier for you?
Well, to make things easy for the children community, and because it's Children Day, I think the most important thing is for the educators and the empowered lot to treat them with dignity, with respect, and give them the due credit, have absolute faith and trust and confidence in them. So, and that's about it. Give them the equal opportunity, and they will absolutely outshine and outbid everything.
Thank you. Okay, Christian, Smriti, Manoj, thank you very much for talking to me today. And I wish you luck, and we'll get some more updates from IBEL later on in the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Who along the road must have a